Welcome to Day 5 of our Veterans Week edition of On Stage at the BACP. Today's special guest is Lucas Heffner. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Lucas. What branch of the service you were in, why you chose that branch.
Well, I was in the Army. I joined in 2009. I served 8-year enlistment. Funny story though, the reason I joined, there's probably 30 different reasons why I joined, but I think the biggest one was, it was kind of something that had always been in the back of my mind, something I wanted to do, but I joined when I was 21 years old. I was halfway through college, and college started to get really expensive. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of my excuse to go on an adventure.
Okay.
And, I could go to my parents and tell them, I got to pay for college, duh. That's why I'm joining. And, that was kind of like how I could get away with it type of thing.
And they bought that?
So, no.
Oh.
Not at all. No, they didn't talk to me for
Okay.
okay. I'm just joking, but
So you were in the Army. What was your job in the Army?
Yeah, so I was a 12 Bravo combat engineer. We're a mechanized engineer unit, so our job in Iraq and Afghanistan, combat engineer is usually some form of route clearance. So our job was to drive around. I was deployed to Afghanistan, RC West, the western province of Afghanistan, and our job was to drive around Highway 1. There's one highway in Afghanistan called Highway 1.
Good name for it.
Our job was to drive around Highway 1 looking for IEDs. And there's two ways to find an IED. The first way is before it blows up.
Yeah.
And the second way is when it blows up. So
wow.
That was our job. Yeah.
Wow.
So we love to tell infantry that they say we lead the way, and we say, well, we had to clear the way for you before you could lead the way. So,
No animosity there between the two. No, nothing like that.
No rivalry at all.
Wow.
No.
Okay, so that sounds pretty intense. Was there ever anything fun, or did you get to go on leave to some place really, really cool because you were away from the United States?
Well, I'll tell you, it does sound really intense, and there are of course some intense moments built into it. But driving around Highway 1 at 2.5 miles an hour is actually pretty kind of the most boring thing I've ever done. But one thing that was really fun is there was one Italian fob that we would get. So RC West was Italian ran when I was there in 2013. So there are a lot of Italians everywhere, which is kind of different from a lot of people's experience. But there was a base called Torbrook, and I remember in the summer. Of course, you imagine Afghanistan's really hot in the summer. It's actually really cold in the winter too. But I remember in the summer we would get to Torbrook, and the Italians they'd take good care of us. I mean, they would feed us into a war zone. They brought a giant, for lack of better words, oven and to make pizzas.
So Italian pizza.
It was important. They would have one ready for us when we got to the FOB. They knew we were coming, and they would make us. They would make us pizzas. Okay. But one fun thing we did at Torbrook was I remember in the heat of the summer, the hottest days. For whatever reason, we were doing missions at night and sleeping underneath our truck during the day, trying to get shade so we could sleep. But when we get there, somebody's family sent them a little blow-up swimming pool, and we kept it in the back of our truck. And we didn't have any. We couldn't go indoors, couldn't get air conditioning, so we would just blow up that swimming pool. And the Italians had water for us. They'd give us a water hose and say, "Do what you want." So we'd fill up that little pool. We'd all strip down, line up, and dive into it, and then get back in line. I mean, we just kept. That's the most relief we had in the heat of summer.
Oh, wow.
In Afghanistan. So
okay, that's the best story that I've gotten so far. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here today, and most importantly, I do want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. Not everyone steps up, and you did, and we appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, and I will say, I get told thank you for your service a lot, and I like to tell people, I feel like my family served as much as I did, because of course, I was in a war zone, but I had the ability to control that situation. My family got to sit at home for a year and deal with the same situation as if they had no control over it. All they got to do was sit around and worry about me. So, in my opinion, my family served more than I did.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for putting that in perspective. I'd never really thought of it that way before. So, thanks a lot, Lucas. We really appreciate you being here and your service and your family's service as well.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed our visit today with Lucas Heffner. This concludes our Veterans Week of On Stage at the BACP. We'll be back next Thursday with information about our upcoming Remember the Ladies short play event. See you next week right here on stage at the BACP.